Just to start off, I actually got cards because I didn't want to screw anything up because I know that this is a real deal interview. This is a real deal conversation. It's not an interview, it's a conversation. I don't know why I keep saying interview. But nonetheless, I know that you're a real deal person. And I thought about this and I said, I want to start off with the story of how we met, if you don't mind. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, so funny story. I literally just moved from Michigan from college, and I'm all about community service. I'm all about helping people. I'm a Sigma, so all we do is community service, and we help out people. And I don't know how we connected on Facebook, but we connected on Facebook, and then after we connected, I saw that you made a post about a clothing drive. And I was like, oh man, this is something that I can do. So I may be a year in California, and I have nothing but pounds and pounds of clothes I have from college that either I brought from Michigan or I didn't throw away. So I asked all my friends, all my family for clothes. I drove all the way from San Bernardino in my Oldsmobile car, took them to LA, dropped them off. You were so nice, so kind. That was one of your annual events, and that's how we met. And then I don't know if you remember, we actually went to the steakhouse afterwards, and we just had a conversation. And remember, this is like 9 years ago. And just from our brief, short conversation, I was like, this woman is going to go places. Like, this is a very special woman. She's going to do amazing things. And I remember at the time you were talking about you were acting and doing different projects. And I was like, definitely keep following this girl because she's going to go places. So, again, I don't know if you remember all of that, but that's literally how we met.
It was really, really dope, and God was connecting me with amazing people, and you donated the most, so I was really grateful, and the people that were able to be recipients of it were grateful. So that's
Absolutely.
a lot. I don't post a lot of it, but I do those drives frequently, and it's always to be able to take gently used clothing to someone.
Okay, hold on. It's hard hearing. I'm going to adjust a little.
Oh, tell me, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's still a little low, but I can still hear you.
Is it any? It's not any different now, huh?
No, but I mean, I can hear you. Hopefully the audio stays what it stays. It's pretty
I,
tight. But what happened?
I can hear you really well.
Okay, good. It might be your phone. I don't know. It's all good. Are you on a phone or a laptop?
I'm on my phone, but let me see if I have headphones.
Got you. It's okay. But as you're looking for headphones, I do want to add in too, just so you guys know. Man, I would say, like I said, back in 2011, when Instagram really wasn't popping too much, back when Snapchat was popping, every day she would post like a daily motivational message. Like that's something that she would do. And she would post a motivational message. And so she would be on Snapchat. And this is before you can like hold it and keep recording. You'd have to post like really, really fast and then post another one really, really fast. And that's how I started doing motivational messages maybe about 3 years ago. And she used to do it every single day. And then she even upgraded to Instagram Live, and then she started doing live messages, and that encouraged me to start doing live messages. So I always tell her I give her 100% credit for me doing my daily messages and sending my daily videos for the past 3 years now. And I even send Monday messages via text message for the last 3.5 years. So I've told you this, but I want the world to know that you're the one who inspired me to do the daily messages, to do the Facebook lives, and even the Instagram lives. So again, I credit it to you because you've always motivated and inspired me to use my voice and to change the world through that. So I wanted to give you credit for that, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me better now? I don't know if this is heard or
Like a
helpful. Is
tad
this
bit,
the
but I can still
same?
hear you.
I can yell like this. I'm just playing. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I just turned the camera on one day and said my message for the day is, and I said, oh, that was fun. I think I'll do that again tomorrow. But what a lot of people don't realize is I started on Periscope. I used to Periscope 3 times a day, and then from Periscope I joined all the other platforms. So Periscope, I have some friends still from Periscope that we were rocking out, and some of the most amazing people I actually have met are from Periscope.
Got
So
you.
I'm so grateful and so glad that we stayed in touch over the years and that I inspired you to do that. Your messages are amazing. You're an incredible, father, an incredible, just a human being all the way around. And so I love being able to see how you are growing on your journey as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Now,
You're welcome.
let me tell you guys more about her because I know we talked about how I met her and what she's done for me. But let me tell you about who Layllen Sawyer is. I was kind of waiting a little bit so people can get on, but like I said, people are gonna watch this for years and years to come. So if
Right.
you don't mind, let me brag about you a little bit, and
Thank
let me go
you.
through my fact sheet, right? And I want to
Okay.
address something, right? Because it says that you said that you were born in Sierra Leone,
Yeah.
West Africa,
Yeah.
but you have like 4 flags on your Instagram
Mhm.
profile. So you
I
got, it sounds like you
know.
got a bunch of cultures in you, and I want you to tell me where are you
Yeah.
from. But it
Yeah.
says that you grew up in Plano, Texas. You got your undergraduate degree in business management, your
Yeah.
master's degree in project management. You
Yeah.
were a John Maxwell certified coach, motivational speaker, fitness motivator, supermodel. You do skids. You're a queenpreneur. I mean, you do it all, and you are a devastating diva, a Delta Sigma Theta sorority incorporated. So shout out to all the Deltas out there showing love and showing support. So that is who she is, and I wrote down your motto: dare to go beyond what your eyes can see. And right there, I mean, that is so
Yeah.
powerful. That's something that I've always kept in the back of my mind as far as
Mhm.
having a big vision. I'm a big vision person, big picture person. So the fact that that's your motto
Mm.
means that, man, you have a great mind because I have a great mind. No, I'm just kidding.
You
But,
do. You
you know,
do.
you're somebody who has big vision. So, but I
Yeah.
do want to know where are you from? Like what all makes up Layllen Sawyer?
I was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I was born in Freetown, and my dad is Sierra Leonean, Ghanaian, and Portuguese, and my mom is Lebanese and Sierra Leonean. So that's where all the flags
Gotcha.
come from. So yeah, my dad's side is from Sao Tome, which is the Portuguese island in Africa, and then my mom's side is Lebanese.
Gotcha. Okay, now
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, now
yeah.
I got you. And where did you go to undergrad at?
Midwestern in Wichita Falls. It's 45 minutes from Lawton, Oklahoma. And a
Gotcha.
lot of people don't know there's a heavy Lebanese population in Sierra Leone. So a lot of Lebanese people migrate to Sierra Leone. So when you go there, you see a combination of like mulattoes and just different people, all kinds of mixed breeds. So there's
Mm,
been a lot of good food in my house growing up, to say the least. I've tried a lot of different cultures and, different dishes and stuff like that, which I'm super grateful for.
that's good. I like it. I like it. And where did you what's your undergrad chapter?
From Midwestern,
Yes.
Sigma Theta.
Well, shout out to Sigma
We are
Theta
the
for
Sigma Theta chapter. People already like,
yes.
what? The who? Yeah, Sigma Theta chapter. That's a Sigma Theta? Yep. Yeah, I'm number
Exactly. Y'all better
13.
represent. Okay, well, good. I told
Yeah.
some of the my friends who were deltas. I said, hey, y'all better tell y'all LSs. Y'all better tell y'all grad
Uh,
members to hop
yeah.
on to watch it because she is representing y'all organization very very well. So y'all better
Thank you.
represent and y'all better get on. So, um,
Thank you.
just to let everybody know, I talked about this when I was publicizing. I talked about this when I was, putting out there that I'd be interviewing you. You do have a book out. Love It All Starts With You. There it is. Now, I understand that you made revisions from the first book, correct? So this is a
Yeah.
new and improved version. And I tell everybody, I've read the first book twice. Well, I would say the first version of it twice. Like the
Yeah.
first time you brought it out, I read
Yeah.
it. Phenomenal book. So good, I actually gave it away. And then I bought it
Yeah.
again. I read it maybe like a year and a half later. Then I
Yeah.
gave it away because it is such a powerful book. And I said
Thank
that
you.
anybody who hops on this and wants a free copy of the book, I'm going to give away 2 free copies. I'm going to pay for them and I'm going
Hey.
to give them to somebody. So if you're on this, you're inspired, you're watching, or you know somebody can find some value in the book, all I ask is after I post this video, you share it, tag me, tag Layllen. And once you do that, the first 2 people to do that, I will personally purchase a book and send you a copy of the book because that book is that powerful. And it will go in more detail about the book later on. And I'll tell people about what inspired me in the book. So I just want everybody to know if you're on and you want a copy, free copy, hey, as soon as I post this, share it, tag me, tag Layllen, and then I will send it to the first 2 people, okay? Sounds good.
Awesome. And
All
I
right.
will.
Now, real quick, just tell me about yourself. Tell the world about yourself. Tell people about who you are and what makes you you.
Oh, God, that's a really good question. I feel like even as a kid, I always had a really positive perspective, and I had a really big glass is full mentality. Like no matter what I did, no matter the experiences, no matter what happened, I always saw the glasses always full. I was always looking for the silver lining. I was always looking for the solution. Um And I think that as you grow and mature, you really just learn that, you know, life is going to throw a lot of things at you, and you can use that as a stepping stone to allow it to fuel you to work harder towards what you want, or you can use it as an excuse and play the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, very quickly, I just learned that I wanted to use that testimony and share with others and then push them to go after the thing that they wanted. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how I just started. People say, "Oh, you're my life coach," or, you know, "How did you start speaking?" And I tell people it's when your gifts are given to you, but then you have to share them with the world. And you are chosen, and then you have to share that out with the world. It's not for you to keep. And I always tell people, share your gifts with the world, because you never know whose life you're going to change. And it's very easy when we are face adversity that we feel or see that as an opportunity to give up, as opposed to just working even harder. And I think
Mm-hmm.
those trials and tribulations, I always would say, well, what can I do, and how can I change, and what can I shift? And um, someone's watching me, meaning like some young woman would be, you know, I always mentored young people. I mentored people my whole life. So I would always go to,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'd move to a city, find the local middle school, and then I'd go mentor the young girls there, like the 7th and 8th grade girls. So I always knew that, like, that there's always someone who I feel like could use me as an opportunity or someone to look up to go after what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So that was big for me. And I wasn't raised by my biological mother. That's the big premise around my book. And it, it, when I was young, gave me a lot of low self-esteem. It made me question a lot of things. And then growing up, it's like God sends you different signs. He always sends you clues. And he always sends you an angel to, like, just whisper something in your ear. So people would plant seeds and say certain things that were really helpful for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think hearing that enough, I started saying, well, I think that I can start, you know, believing in my intentions and believing in what I want to do, and start shifting and using that as a stepping stone. And then I started learning about the power of manifesting things, setting your intention, being very specific, the power of visualization and creation. And that's how I started, like, traveling. You know, I was like, oh, okay, if I can, LA, okay, I guess LA is cool. Let's try it out. And I just, like, on a whim, I just moved to LA. I decided on a Friday, and I moved on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of things are just kind of like, and getting there opened up my eyes to a lot of things, but it also, I think, was a very pivotal part in my journey, because it's where I started my self development. I did a lot of like rediscovery or discovering of who I was as a person, or who I am as a person. And the accountability mirror really will, it's rough. Like, when you're doing acting
Mm-hmm.
and you have to learn to embody the character, it
Mm-hmm.
requires you to really be vulnerable with yourself. And I think that's where a lot of that truth and transparency comes. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what caused me to say, well, let me dig deep down and see where are these self-esteem issues coming from?
Mm-hmm.
What's the issue been, or why did I not feel wanted or loved? And so then I said, oh, okay, I wasn't raised by my mother, my biological mother. Maybe she didn't want to be in my life. Why not? Am I not good enough? Was I not, you know, am I not special, or am I not valued? And then learning to shift that conversation, shift that mindset, to start to accept the belief, and then shift the conversation, and then rephrase it to where it's something positive for you, is really what helped me change my mindset. And when you tell yourself something enough, both good and bad, you start to believe it. So every day, if you're like, I'm a millionaire, and I have a successful company that's empowering people all over the world, I live in my dream house, and I'm really impacting others, you say that every day, stuff is going to
Mm-hmm.
start shifting and moving. And, or on the opposite, if you say, I never meet great people, then you still start attracting that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that we tell ourselves consistently, we're going to attract.
Amen to that. Now, I was gonna bring this up a little later, but since you already addressed it, I definitely want to bring it up now. Your book, right? The first time I read it, well, the two times I read it, I got two different things from it, right? The first time I read it, which I want you to address after you address the next thing, but I love the part where you and your girls are sitting around drinking the wine. I think it's towards the beginning of the book. I think that's
Yeah,
where it was.
The aha
and
moment.
y'all started to drink, and then all the emotions started pouring out, and I was like, first of all, man, we need to try this. Like, it may not be wine, it might be video games, I don't know, but I feel like that we hold so much in, and we're always trying to be so strong. But what if we had a moment where we just poured ourselves out to our brothers? What if we had a moment where we just shared things that were hurting us, that were binding us, that were
Yeah.
keeping us from being great? Like, that was that stood out the most the first time I read the book. The
Right.
second time I read it was exactly what you said, and you kind of addressed it, but the relationship with your mother, because when you talk about it, like, it just sounds like it was very painful. And I know people personally, and I have my own experiences.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your relationship with your mother, it's special. It's something that nobody can never take away from you. Father too, because you talk about your father and your relationship. But when it comes to mom,
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody would love a great relationship with their mom. And you talk about from where you guys were to where
Yeah.
you are now. And the funny thing is, I want to say 2 years ago in Clover City, I was just randomly walking, and you were walking with your mom, and I'm like, that's her from the book. I'm like, yeah, she's human, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you look like her, like, you guys are glowing, like, it's crazy, because I was just reading about you, and you guys are together, and that just felt good that you guys can go from the relationship that you described and the pain versus now where everything's all good and you love and adore her. So you kind of talked about it, but what really in your heart caused you to transition to, like, okay, I need to accept this? How do I go from pain to prosperity, or pain to a loving relationship, or hurt not having her to wanting to be around her every day? Can you share that just a little bit?
Yeah, and I will say it always freaks people out when they meet my mom and I together because we look like twins.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like people are like, you all look so much alike. Like, no, really, really, really. Like we're like the same height, the same facial,
Yeah,
everything.
exactly, literally.
I used to be like, yo, you pooped yourself out, lady. So, um, you know what? I think it's like you said when I initially addressed the hurt and being playing the victim.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. What started the self-development journey leading up to basically answering that question is I went to acting class and my acting coach was like, you got to embody the character, Layllen. Like, you can't be getting up there just playing. Like, put yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
so we would do a lot of vulnerability, and he would ask us to put ourselves in certain scenarios. So you have to take yourself to that place so that you can really exude the character.
Mm-hmm.
And I started feeling very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said, well, why do I feel this way? And actually went to go seek therapy.
Mm.
So I went, and I always encourage people to seek therapy. Acting class is a great therapy. Like, I would take acting class just because it's great therapy, in addition to obviously wanting to act. But even if I did or didn't, acting class is great therapy.
Interesting.
And I just started seeing a therapist. And so she, you get there at first and you're just telling your happy story because everyone wants to give you the good stuff. Oh, I was born here and this is what I do. And she was like, and then I just started really being transparent. And once I did that, she
Mm.
said, oh, you did these things because you wanted to feel needed or accepted. And so she just really was able to phrase things in a way that I finally had a clear understanding. And
Mm.
then she encouraged me to not heal from the situation for anyone else, but to heal for myself.
Mm.
And so many people are drinking the poison and expecting it to kill the other person. And they're not understanding that you only hurt yourself when you hang on to that anger, animosity, and frustration.
Gems right there. Gems. Y'all better write
Yeah.
that down. Don't
Yeah.
drink the poison, Jim. That's it. That's it. That's all you gotta say. Now, that was man, that was it. That's insanity. Why would
Yeah.
you drink the poison thing that hurt? I've heard that before, but man, you just
Yeah.
you just brought it back up. So thank
Yeah.
you for that. Now, the second part, the wine part. Can you
Yeah.
I know you guys gotta read the book.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't want to give away too many secrets, but the wine part, I told you when I first read it, I was like, this is actually a very crucial moment in a lot of women's lives in that book. This is very
yep.
crucial for them. So can you kind of talk about what happened? I know a lot of people haven't read it. Some people may have read it, but in that moment when you guys are drinking the wine and started to pour each other out, like, what created that just that I guess that vulnerability, that comfortability for them to start saying what they were saying?
I think it's feeling safe and finding your
Mm-hmm.
tribe. And a lot of people don't find their tribe. The thing with LA is LA is a difficult city. It's the most beautiful, wonderful, chaotic, pretty mess. And people get there and they have one expectation, and you really got to stick around to
Mm-hmm.
find the people. You got to like look under the rocks. You got to like peel back some layers. And then when you find your tribe, you're like, it makes it so worth it. And
Yes.
so I think finding that safe place of women to come together, and that's like a culmination of many nights of, you know, obviously a glass of wine or two is going to loosen everyone up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's getting to that safe space and knowing that what I share in these walls with these women is going to be an opportunity for me to heal, because a lot of people don't feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get the opportunity to share that pain, that grief, that sorrow, that frustration with your tribe, and your tribe to look back at you and say, you're safe, you're good, you're
Mm-hmm.
incredible, you're amazing. These things led you to where you are. I relate. You're not alone. So
Mm-hmm.
many of us think we're doing this journey by ourselves.
That's very
And
good.
a lot of people don't understand the importance of mirror work and how deep that is for you to look into your eyes in the mirror. And my therapist used to always say, go home and talk to the mirror, and talk to the little child, talk to the person who's hurt you, and a significant other, an ex-boyfriend, a mother, a father. Talk to that person and have a conversation so that you can heal. Tell them everything you wanted to say. Write that letter and just say whatever, you know, curse, yell, scream, whatever you got to do, and then just get it out, because we
Mm.
just want to be heard. We don't, you know, people you're in an argument with someone, and then you just call back just to say the last thing. Yeah, and I said so and so. So there. and then you
I'm
hang
not
up the
guilty of
phone.
that.
Then you hang up the phone because you feel better. And then they text and you're like, don't text me anymore. This is the last message.
Yeah.
Stop. Bye. Like, we just want to be heard. But when you can learn to control to control the energy that you give away, and I always
Mm-hmm.
say, don't give your power away.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of detour, but don't give your power away, because people don't understand it takes so much for you to get to that place of peace. And so being with those women, having that transparent conversation, getting to that aha moment, it was like a release. And it was also a combination of growth, which was really, really huge.
Absolutely. You guys got that gym. Get a tribe. Get a solid tribe. I mean, I've been saying it in a lot of my talks, and you've been saying a lot of your talks, but you want to have a good circle of people around you. So that was very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And you said
You're
something
welcome.
multiple times, the accountability mirror. I don't know if you read the book by David Goggins called Can't
That
Hurt Me.
is it.
And if you need to know about the raw version, like she gave you guys the nice, fluffy, like heart roses version. No, Goggins, he goes in on the accountability mirror, and I mean he is like ripping himself, and then he goes out and runs 100 miles. It's like his accountability mirror is so extreme. But I've heard it, but when I heard it in Audible, the way he describes it, I tried it, and
Yo.
then it just changed my life. It changes my day, because usually I wake up in the morning and I always start off with gospel music. But now I'm listening to like Waka Flocka Fame, like let's go. Like I'm looking at myself, I'm going hard, and that accountability mirror is so important. So when she keeps telling you guys that, you should listen. Go in the accountability mirror, 5 minutes, talk to yourself, inner child, beast, whoever you are, you need to talk to them. So you guys need to catch that gym. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. I know at one point, I don't think you still do it. You were an auditor. You worked for a company, because I remember you making a post about you leaving and become a full-time queenpreneur. So is that still the case? And if it is, please tell me how you did not freak out and be scared to death to pursue your dreams. Tell the world, what was that mindset that you had to accept when you were like, I'm really about to leave a 9 to 5 that's treating me well to pursue my dreams and my passions? Can you talk about that?
So I've been a consultant for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
have a decent amount of years of experience. You see, I thought about that. I'm like, do I really want to tell these people how many years of experience I have? Anyway, so
Go ahead.
I have a background in finance, compliance, risk, consulting, processes, procedures, policies, that thing. When you can learn to quit a job, it is so liberating. And I don't encourage anyone to do this that doesn't have savings or a family. If you got a family to feed, don't just go quitting jobs, because you got to deal with someone. I didn't have to talk to anybody about the decision. You know, I consulted my tribe. I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you all think? It is one of the most scary, liberating things, because it teaches you what you're made of, and it teaches you how to be resourceful, and it teaches you. I call myself the queen of manifestation because I can manifest a job in like a blink of an eye. Like
Uh-huh.
I literally the other day was like, I think I'd like a job, and I got 3 phone calls in 2 hours. No joke.
There it is. There it is.
But I still do consult with companies because I do actually enjoy
Mm.
the consulting part. I really do still enjoy. I'm a learner. I'm a lifelong learner, and
Yes.
things are always changing. And so as the market is shifting and things are changing, I really
Hmm.
do enjoy learning about the processes, and I get to incorporate those processes into my business.
Mm.
So I would tell anyone, if you're thinking about quitting, I quit, I pursued my dream, and I also traveled the world for 6 months, which was incredible
Which was my
until
next
I
question. You can talk about that if you want to.
till I used all my money. Yeah, that was not sexy. Nope, it's not sexy when you don't
It's
have
not
no money.
sexy at
When
all.
you're going to like buy that next ticket or cash in those points, and then you're like, wait a minute, I got how much left in my bank account? Ooh, let me get back over to the
Let me
U.S.
go
of
consult real
A.
quick.
Let me go consult. So it is a liberating and amazing experience. I would say do whatever you can. A lot of like entrepreneurs always coach you or suggest create income while you're doing the thing to give you the stability, and then create it to where it makes you walk away from your 9 to 5 or your stable income. So a lot of times when I'm working something, I'll wake up and work so many hours before and so many hours after. Like
Mm.
if someone sat with me not too long ago, and they were like, you work from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, because then I'll get on Instagram at the end of the day and interact and stuff,
Hmm.
interact with people. But I enjoy doing it. It's not work for me. So it's not
Exactly.
like I'm working hard, but I'm doing stuff I enjoy. And I know it leads me to where my bigger goal, or my bigger, dream, it's going to lead me there.
Absolutely. And make a long story short, it reminds me of the story that my mentor told me, Lynn Cooper. He said a lot of people try to do is they try to have multiple streams and create a river. And then he said, but you got to think about, where do streams come from? They come from big rivers. So you have a big river that's flowing, that's providing a lot of water, and streams break from it. So instead of doing 10, 15 billion different things, trying to
Mhm.
create a river, have a solid river, like she said, have savings, have some
Mhm.
funds, and then you can start doing different things to create different streams. So it sounded like that was your plan. You did it, and became a success for you. Like I said, you're a model, you're a coach, John Maxwell certified. You do a lot of different things, but you've always had your river of consulting because that's what you like to do, and it allows you to pursue your dreams in other areas. Like you've been in Instagram skits, and you're good at that. Like you've done a lot of
Thank you.
different things. So
Yeah.
it's really good that you kept your base and your foundation. Now, to
Thank
go a
you.
little bit off of that, you're welcome. I always like to ask the people I talk to, can you give us like one true transparent moment of adversity that you faced and you were like, I am at rock bottom, or I am at a moment to where I really don't know what to do. I have my faith in God. I have my belief. I know I can manifest this, but how am I going to overcome this? And you did. What was the mindset you used to overcome it? So share your best story if you could think about it, and let us
Yeah,
know.
it was when I was traveling and I ran out of money. Honestly, I
Really?
no, like that time was like I went from like, life is great, to like, what? Tears. Um, I had planned out enough savings to travel and do everything, and then I was going to sell my timeshare, and I got scammed out of my timeshare with the rest of the money that I had like planned to save,
Oh
and
no.
I was distraught.
Mm.
Like literally distraught. I was like, every day I would just check to see if the money was coming, because like I thought I was gonna get so like I can laugh about it now, but at the time,
Oh yeah.
I was in tears. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, what am I gonna do? So when you learn that you can quit a job,
Hmm.
and you learn to stand up for what you believe, and you learn that when you do have to trust yourself, and when you can learn, and I say all those as things as you'll know when your time comes, but then when you learn that money isn't everything, when you learn that you've been broke, when you learn that you haven't it hits you in a different way,
Mm.
but it also motivates you in a different way, and it also helps you appreciate and be grateful for things in a different way. So that's what
Mm.
it did for me. And the beautiful part about me is I just went back to all my videos, and I got back to the basics. I would listen to some of my own videos. I would get back to the, folk waking up and praying, meditating, setting the intention,
Mm-hmm.
visualizing creation. And more importantly, I tell anyone, when you are not sure what to do, this is literally happening in my life right now. And I need to really document this. I need to document this because some days it's so sweet that I'm like, Layllen, you got to get this on camera because someone's not going to believe it and they won't be able to feel your energy. When you believe in yourself and when you get really clear on what you want, it is life changing.
Amen to that.
Like literally, I have so much belief in myself, and I'm so clear on what the vision is that things are just like literally. It's like I'm a magnet, and the right things are like.
Amen to that. And you know what? I'm gonna have a moment of transparency myself. Laylin and I, we have frequent conversations. I usually volunteer at her women empowering event, that she does. I love it every time I show up. Anytime she needs me for anything, I love to volunteer and help out because I not only do I love service, but I love the crowd that she attracts. She's hosted award shows. She's done a lot. So she attracts a
Thank
lot of
you.
positive energy. So the more that you can be around her, man, the more you can learn and grow. And so when I call her sometimes, it's usually moments where I just need clarity on some things. And I recently called her and I was at a moment where I just could not focus. Like I felt I wasn't confident. I felt like I wasn't succeeding. I wasn't making money in the business. I just felt like I was like, what do I have to do? Like I called her and I was very aggressive in my voice and she was very and she literally told me the exact same thing she told y'all. She's like, yeah, like you got to get some clarity. Like, what do you want? And you know you can do it, and you got to go do it, and you got to go all in. And even though I don't watch my own videos because I don't like looking at my old self talk, but she told me that, and I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right. I need to realize, I need to put into play what I really want. I need to put into play what I really truly desire. And I know I have the work ethic. I know I have the will. I know I have the stamina. I need to just do it. So that was our last conversation. And it was one of those days. I just remember I was walking for like 3 miles and I was like, I need to call Laylin. And I finally called her and we had that, 5-minute conversation. And that's all I be needing from her. Like literally, we don't have long drawn out convos. It's like, boom, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
got it, and we're good to go. So I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, what she just gave you was a gem. It was a nugget. You got to realize you have to understand what you want, and you got to understand that you have the power to go get it. And once you realize
Mm-hmm.
that, boom, I had a crazy May, a great May, great April,
Yes.
great May in business. Yes, I'm having a great June. Just celebrated my 33rd birthday, so
Congrats.
everything is good.
Happy
So thank you
birthday.
for those words, and I'm hoping you guys take that to heart. Now, whew, I can never imagine running out of money after traveling the world. I feel like it's like you just see the world and then you're just like, well, I gotta go back to work. Like, what was that like? Like, what was that like? What is it like to see so many things and see so many cultures? Because I talk to people on the daily who haven't been outside of California, who haven't been outside of Texas. They think going outside the country is driving to, Mexico. But what is that like? What do you like? How would you encourage somebody just to see the world? Like tell us about that experience just a little bit.
I think it's losing money and running out of money is very humbling. It hurts. It really does hurt. But it helped me identify with people in a way that I never would have been able to because
Mm-hmm.
I always planned well and I always was able to go and come and have and go buy whatever I wanted within reason. So
Mm-hmm.
I always did amazing things. Like I had fun trips, great experiences. So that hurts, but it also humbles you and it also teaches you that um, you got to have faith in God. Like you got to get
Amen.
right. You got to plug into the source and you got to really say, okay, what do you want from me? What do you want for my life? And you got to give it to him and pray about it, then let him reveal it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Traveling is incredible. I know this year is a strange, challenging year for a lot of reasons, but traveling is one of those things that it genuinely opens your experiences. I didn't travel until I was 25 and my first international or big trip was to Sierra Leone, West Africa to go back. And
Okay.
when I got there, I was like, if I can get back here, man, I can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling really sparks something in you and it really shows you culture and it shows you food and it shows you the possibilities. It also shows you poverty and it also
Mm.
shows you what you should be grateful for in other areas. When you go to different parts of the world, it's just beautiful to see people be happy and grateful with the smallest things.
Mm.
And that's what I love to do is go and see how I can be a resource and volunteer and share in other people's energy and see new things and go to random, go to a bar in the city and just sit and talk to the bartender in another language and try to figure out, like, it's just an incredible experience. And I would say go. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
There's travel groups. There's so many things that I travel a lot by myself, but you don't have to. You can plan a trip, pick a date, and say who's coming, or you can find a travel group and plug in, because now there's so many amazing travel groups you could just plug in and go. So just go, start small. If you're scared, I always tell people, when I was young, my mom used to say, you better learn to do things by yourself. So I started going to the movies as a kid. I would go out to bars. I would go out. I take myself out on dates all the time. I would
Yeah,
get
you say that
dolled
a
up on a
lot.
Friday night. I would go hit up whatever my favorite restaurant, eat a great meal, and and I always meet the most amazing people. So I say, start doing something small. Start by taking yourself to the movies or going to grab a drink by yourself. And
Amen
then
to that.
plan a weekend trip somewhere, or do a staycation. A staycation is just grabbing a cute hotel in your city, relaxing, taking yourself out to dinner, and then pick somewhere and go.
Amen to that. And you speak any other languages? I don't think I've ever asked that question.
I understand Creole, which is our native language, and I
Okay.
can speak it a little bit, but not enough for me. If I speak it, Sierra Leoneans always laugh at me. So imagine I hosted the Sierra Leone Entertainment Awards, and I
Right.
spoke a little Creole, and people were like very supportive. They were
You
very
American.
supportive. Yeah, they were very supportive. I
Now,
was like, you do know I can't speak Creole, right? You still want me to host the Sierra Leonean Awards?
That's too funny. And you're a Texas girl, right? So
Yeah,
every now and then it's funny because I notice it. Some other people may notice it, but I notice when the Texas comes out
my
because it happens
Southern.
to me. Yes, their Southern accent because I moved to Texas when I was 11. So when I first got to Texas, they were like, "You talk white." I was like, "What does that mean?"
Right,
You're proper, and they country. They
right,
one sentence is one word, and so
right.
you got to understand the dialect. And so I can imagine you trying to speak Creole and have a Southern accent and be from California. It's probably a hot mess sometimes.
It's comedy. It's definitely comedy. But yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, that's good. Now, you've already been dropping bars, you've been dropping nuggets. I need to know, what are your top 3 favorite books? I need you to tell the people, besides your book, because you already know it's an all-time bestseller, but
I
besides
know
your book.
someone just asked me that. Man, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho,
Okay.
all-time favorite.
Why
That
so?
is my outside of mine. I love The Alchemist is a beautiful journey about a shepherd boy. Everyone needs to read that. And it talks about travel and following his dreams,
Hmm.
and how basically what he was searching for was essentially there the whole time. The Alchemist is it's a good book. It's also Will Smith's favorite book. But I read it before it became his favorite book. He just happened to say it one day, and I was like,
Yeah, welcome to
smart
the party.
man. I was like, smart man. The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Hmm.
Because if you can really learn to embody not taking things personal and those core characteristics, I think they can be applied to so many areas in your life, personally and professionally.
Okay.
The third one, some people have asked me, and I'm like, man, I can give top 5. It's hard to do.
No, do top 5. I usually ask 5. I don't know why I said 3. You can get 5.
Of
I got
course,
like 5 at least.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's a book I read. Gosh, I literally just finished the audiobook, and it was nuggets after nuggets after nuggets. Please let me. It's a John Maxwell book. Anything John Maxwell.
Yeah.
Like, I could just put him down for like 3. Anything John Maxwell,
Right.
21 Irrefutable Laws. I mean, the book that I just read, I literally took so many notes on the book. I'm like, you should just buy the book. Like,
Right.
buy the actual book. I said Think and Grow Rich. I said John Maxwell. So I have to do authors. There's too many good books.
Yeah, I
Let
know.
me look on let me see what I got back here. Wait a minute. Yo, I got some good. I got a Jack Canfield book. Of course, E.T. is fire. His books are amazing. I
Yep.
listen to E.T. to wake up. He's my alarm.
Amen.
Ryan Holiday. I
Ryan
actually am
Holiday.
reading a book by Brendan Bouchard right now about habits. So
Hmm.
I can't give you 5, but because I read a lot and I love content. So I could just spit off like favorite authors.
Yeah. Obstacles Away is definitely my top
Yeah.
3. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, you guys heard some good books. John Maxwell. She said some authors. Definitely go check him out. Reading
Yeah.
is great. Personal development is great. And it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be paperback books. You guys have audio. You guys have some books on YouTube. So definitely check out those books and continue to read, continue to grow. Like you said, be a professional learner. And so 2 more questions. I want you to talk about your book. And I'm not saying necessarily tell people why they should read it, but, just talk about the story of the book, why you wrote it, and what kind of message people can get from it. Because I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's called Love. It All Starts With You. So why you chose that message, and talk about your book.
I will say that I did want to throw David Goggins in there as well because I
Oh yeah.
used to actually work out to him.
Oh
Like
okay.
I don't really listen to a lot of music, but I do work out. Like when I work out, I listen to audiobooks. When I'm driving, audiobooks. Everything is audiobooks.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think really helped me become an expert is because I got my 10,000 hours in from the Outliers. That's another great book. But I literally engulfed myself in self-development, and I think it just really became that's how I was reprogramming my mind. But my book, Love It All Starts With You, is essentially a book that I wrote for not being as the things I experienced by not being raised by my biological mother. It's the journey and the things that I learned that helped me overcome and become the woman that I am today. And it talks a lot about forgiveness, which is really important. It talks about, energy and the power of manifestation. So it has just it's just bite size. It's like little bite sized nuggets. It's a quick read, and I wanted it to be a book you could read on the airport in the airport or in the plane on a short flight. So
Mm.
that's what I actually have gotten in the plane and reread my book and been like, how long is it going to take me to read this book? Can I read it from, so you could literally get on a 2-hour flight and you would be done with the book
Absolutely. Yeah. That's how I felt the
by the
first time I
time.
read it. I was like, oh, this is really quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bite size. But what I did with the new one is I actually included places for you to do journal entries. It's like kind of did more of like a workbook feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I now ask questions, and so there's like exercises in it for people to go through and kind of, because I feel so often we go over something but we don't allow ourselves to sit back and kind of take in the chapter. So I ask them questions. And you said why should they buy the, I just feel it's a topic that's not talked about enough,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that a lot of people suffer from that they're actually afraid to be transparent about, which is self-love. I have
Mm.
so many people that say, hey, how do you love yourself more? And I welcome questions, and I love when people can be courageous enough to ask, because even guys are like, how do you love yourself? Because I've always
Mm-hmm.
been taught to be strong and to be the man of the house and to be the provider and the protector, but I didn't talk about these things that have been hurting me or affecting me, or these things I never was able to overcome. And so I did write that on my post yesterday, the one that I said, hey, I'll be on with you tomorrow, because I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, why would somebody want to write it? And this week my books have just been like selling like crazy. But you know what? My mindset also shifted. I got really, really clear on what I wanted. I reverse engineered what I wanted to do, and I just set
Mm-hmm.
the intention. And then my books have just like, I wake up, it's like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, it's so amazing. So I think it'll just be a great foundation to something that you can build on. And I'm actually working on doing a mindset course,
Mm.
because I think that would be essential to as a great companion. And I'm working on a journal, and I think it would be a great companion for people to be able to read the book and then learn, how do I apply these, and now how can I reshift and shape my mindset to set my intention for what I want.
You've definitely been talking and listening to ET, because that's literally an ET move. So that's exactly
Yeah,
what he does. It's like you have a
yeah,
book, and then you have something to work on while you're reading the book, and then you have
yeah,
something to read and review after you finish the book. So when you go back and read it again,
yeah,
you know the old things that you recognize, but then you recognize some of the new things. So
yeah.
you sound like an author. I can't wait for the next book. Like I said,
I
you
do
got.
have another book coming out. I'm
Oh,
super
okay.
excited about it.
Okay, good, good. Well, we look forward to that one. Everybody go get the new book. Like I said, when I post this on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all you got to do is share it somehow. I will know by the timestamp. First 2 people who shared it first, I'm going to send you a free book. It is 1,000,000,000% worth it. I'm going to get a new copy. I'm going to read it again. And I've only read 2 books more than twice. So I think the
Uh,
Energy Bus is one, and Secrets of Success was the only book that I read more than once. So this will be another book that I'm going to read again. I'm going to share it. I'm going to give it to my 2 nieces so they can read it. So,
Thank you.
and I want you to sign it. And thank you so much for being such a great writer and a great person. My last question, which I always like to ask people at the very end, is: so you were born in 19. I'm not going to say your age,
Uh-huh.
and when you pass away, it's going to be 2020, whatever, right?
Mhm.
So, what I want to know is, in between that dash, as you live your life, what do
Mhm.
you want people to remember you as or remember you by? What do you want people to say when they go, man, Layllen Sawyer, she was this, she did this, she make me feel like this? What do you want people to remember you as?
That I gave people hope that it's possible, the belief in the
Mm,
possibility that anything is possible. I was sharing that with someone, and I was telling them the energy of what I want my brand to be, and I just kept saying hope, 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 and they go, "You want to give people hope that and it's truly that I want people to say because of her, I believe that it's possible." And so I think I do that for a lot of people, and I didn't realize it. And sometimes you have to hear it enough to start to let it sink in. So I appreciate it. And I also will give a book away for free as well, in addition to the ones you want to give away. So now you have an extra one that I'll sign and autograph to whoever wins, as long as they just
amen
give
to
me their
that.
address. So
Amen to that. Well, thank you. When I think of hope, I think of Superman. So I don't know. We might have some things in common. I don't know. I used to tell all the time. I was like, you are the modern day Wonder Woman, and I used to say that all the time because she literally does it all. She
thank
is
you.
unstoppable. She's powerful. She's strong. So thank you so much
You're
again.
so
My
welcome.
kids, kids, your kids, everybody's families is going to watch this, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, wherever. I got people who don't have IG and they're waiting for me to drop it on Facebook. So I'm going to drop it on
Yeah.
Facebook. Thank you so much. You are
Thank
phenomenal.
you.
And just keep inspiring the world because, like I said, I learned so much from you. I'm always taking notes from you. And I
Thank
just
you.
can't wait to see where you go. We are both still young and we're going to take over the world. We're going to change the world, okay?
Yeah, I'm so proud of who you've become. I'm grateful to have you in my life. I'm excited for the things that you're going to do. And
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that you are being consistent and that you are taking it one day at a time and that you are planting seeds because so many people are watching a lot, especially the ones that don't say anything. They're watching, they're paying attention. So you keep inspiring and being an incredible human being. Thank you so much, King. I
Thank you.
love watching your videos. I love seeing you interact with your son. Like literally lights up my life. So I
He's the
appreciate you.
star. Thank you. He's the star. He's the star. So, but thank you.
You're
God bless.
welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for doing this with me. And I'll
Of
talk to you
course.
soon, okay?
All right. Love you to
All right.
life.
Yes. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. That is the end of that. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm going to share this out. If you want a book, all you got to do is share it, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. First two people to share it. Man, you guys just share it out, and then we will get your address, and we will send you your book. So share it out, share it with your family, share it with your friends. I hope you guys took notes. So many good nuggets on the interview. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you next Thursday. In the meantime, always lead with love. Always do the right thing. Put God first and every day get better at being yourself. MC Inspires Black Superman. I'll talk to y'all later.